Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the Noon News from Montana's news leader.
Good afternoon, and thanks so much for joining us here on the Noon News. I'm Samantha Sullivan. We're taking a brief break from the CBS News special report of Michael Cohen's testimony on Capitol Hill. And meanwhile, President Trump has wrapped up his first meeting with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Vietnam, with talks of denuclearizing the Korean Peninsula in exchange for economic relief set to begin tomorrow. Nicole Killian has more details on that from the White House.
The Hanoi summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un started with a handshake.
Our relationship is really a good one.
Today's talks were relatively short, with about half an hour, followed by what the White House called a social dinner. The real work begins tomorrow with a day full of talks.
We have some big meetings scheduled for tomorrow, and we'll see you, I guess, at a news conference at some point during the day.
The president tweeted his goals for the summit, writing, "Kim Jong-un and I will try very hard to work something out on denuclearization and then making North Korea an economic powerhouse."
A lot of things are going to be solved, I hope, and I think it'll lead to really a wonderful situation long term.
North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un praised the president for what he called the political courage to agree to this summit. And he said there's been a lot of patience since their summit last summer.
We had a very successful first summit. I felt it was very successful. And some people would like to see it go quicker. I'm satisfied, you're satisfied. We want to be happy with what we're doing.
The first summit ended with a vaguely worded commitment from the North Koreans to denuclearize.
Thank you very much for coming back.
But exactly what that means is a challenge the two sides still have to work out. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
Here in Montana, the story is winter weather. Snow blanketing much of the state and extreme cold keeping people indoors. At all of our MTN stations across the state, we've been working to keep you informed of any road closures, school closures, or delays. We have just learned that students at Corvallis schools will be getting out at 1 p.m. today, along with students at Hamilton Public Schools and those at the Lone Rock School in Stevensville. This comes as the National Weather Service warns administrators the area could see 6 to 8 inches of new snow between now and 3 p.m. For up-to-date information on more closures, you can visit your local MTN website. And Rob now joining us. More closures and delays are probably on the way because it seems like we've got another batch of this wintry weather coming in for tomorrow.
Yeah, sure enough. Well, you know, we're going to be stretching this weather all the way toward Friday night, and about the time the snow clears out for the state, more cold air slips on down from Canada. Oh, goody. Can it be spring anytime soon? Anybody? Let's look around the state right now. I'll give you a check of some of the current temperatures. Great Falls 5 with some sunshine poking through the clouds and not a lot of wind, but enough to bring it to 4 below zero with a feels like temperature. Helena, a little more cloud cover, a few flurries, calm winds, 6 degrees. Let's jump down to Butte. Well, let's not stay here long. It's snowing, 9 degrees with a northwest wind, feels like 1 above. And over in Billings, the snow has finally stopped for a while. It's a snow day over in the Billings area as well for school kids. 9 degrees with a light southwest wind, and still feels like about 9 degrees. We're going to take a look at all the watches and warnings across the state and that statewide forecast in a jiffy. Samantha?
A backcountry skier is dead after getting caught in an avalanche on the west side of the Bridger Mountain Range. Search and rescue crews from the Gallatin County Sheriff's Office and the Bridger Ski Patrol were called out around 2 o'clock on Tuesday. 2 skiers saw the avalanche start and were able to locate the victim, a 36-year-old man from Bozeman. He was pronounced dead at the scene. And this comes as avalanche warnings remain in effect for Montana's backcountry areas. In the Bitterroot, avalanche danger is considered high. In south central Montana, experts say conditions are dangerous. New snow posing a concern for slides in the Gallatin and Madison ranges as well. Folks are urged to steer clear of steep slopes.
With so much new snow, these avalanches could break 5 feet deep just in the new snow. But we also do have weak layers that formed back in December, and so we could get avalanches. We're expecting avalanches to break all the way down at the ground. So these are going to be really huge slides.
If you do go out, make sure your beacons and shovels are properly working, and be sure to check advisories before heading into the backcountry. In the last 24 hours, there's been hundreds of snow-related crashes and slide-offs on Montana roads, and the central part of our state has been hit the hardest. The Montana Highway Patrol says there's been 314 crashes in the last day. Across Montana, there's been 159 slide-offs. The busiest area in the state has been Helena, Butte, and the Dillon areas, where MHP reports there have been 85 crashes and 60 slide-offs. In the midst of this latest winter blast, Northwestern Energy is offering up some safety advice for customers. The company is reminding people to make sure natural gas meters and furnace and appliance vents are free from snow and ice. Blocked vents could result in a loss of heat or buildup of deadly carbon monoxide in homes or other structures. People are also being encouraged to clear snow away gently from natural gas meters to help prevent natural gas regulators from freezing over, which would interrupt the normal flow of natural gas into your home or building. It's also the time of year that hospitals are seeing an increase in injuries related to the ice and snow. Most occur from slips and falls, but sometimes individuals overexert themselves. People commonly suffer bumps, bruises, and broken bones. Professionals at St. Peter's and Helena say orthopedic injuries are the most common, while shoveling can also cause some heart issues.
People with pre-existing heart problems and some that don't know they have heart problems, it's quite a bit of a stress test to go out and shovel a foot of snow at a time. And so we do see patients show up with cardiac symptoms and sometimes heart attacks.
Another condition that's more common this time of year, seasonal affective disorder, or SAD. It can happen any time of year, but it's typically seen more often in the winter months when people are cooped up inside. The disorder is caused by a change in the amount of light you receive on a daily basis. Symptoms include low energy, isolation, changes in appetite, and a change in your sleep schedule. Light therapy is the most popular treatment, but a psychiatrist we talked with at Billings Clinic says people affected by SAD often don't seek the help that they need.
Just for people to realize that this is a real thing, because some people are like, oh, you know, that's just hogwash. That's not anything that's really real. But it is, and it is something that you can get treatment for. And so I just want people to know that going and talking openly with their primary care providers is really the best option for them.
In other news this afternoon, some uproar from the Bozeman community after a new name is chosen for the city's second high school. The school board chose West Slope High School as the new name. However, the feedback from the community hasn't been overly positive. They narrowed the name down from 176, but members of the community say they aren't happy with the decision, hoping it will be reversed.
Significance to it. And some people were saying it's tied into the west slope of the Bridgers or the west slope Cutthroat. It just didn't have any significance to it, and west slope in itself just doesn't have any ring to it. I think it would be important that they reconsider their vote, because they are the deciding body. They can reconsider their vote, and I think it would be good, because I think a lot of the community doesn't like it.
Of course, as of right now, the board does not plan to reconsider its decision. Well, coming up here on the new news, the lack of teachers in Montana's rural school district being addressed at the legislature, how lawmakers are hoping to change things. But first, more weather. Rob Griggs joins us as we prepare for yet another round of late winter storms. The full forecast when we come back.
You're watching MTN News with Samantha Sullivan. Storm Tracker weather with Ed McIntosh, and farm and ranch news from the Northern Ag Network. This is the new news on Q2, Montana's news leader.